And on to running the program. So Visual C plus or Visual C Sharp, you can just hit the start debugging, or you can go up to debug and start or build solution. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna run that, and there we go. There's this. And then I'll bring that over here for the moment. I'll go to the C Sharp and run this in release mode. Yes, I do. And it compiles. And now, this is one of the gotchas with developing in Visual C++. It runs the program somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly where, but as you can see from the nasty little error there, it says it failed to load image. Close that. Now I have to go and open it up, and it's in here, and so I'll run that. Now it works. It's the same thing as anyway. So no more error message, and you got your little Shmup guy, and he can move around left, right, up, down, whatever. No collision detection in this version. At one point I did, but it was just a huge hassle for the port, so I decided to leave that out, and for now it's just a guy that moves around. And that is the C++ version, and the C# version is right here, and it does the same thing. It's a little slower on the moving because I didn't tweak the amount that the player can move. Again, it's kind of based on the frame rate on the C++ version, so transferring over to the C# is a little funky, but as you can see, it's not too bad. And then it's about 1.5 times faster on the... Oh gosh, where'd it go? There it is. Okay. Now, we'll check out the resources. The C# one is using 32 megs of RAM and one or nothing pretty much. And then for the Shmup from the C++, it's using 17. So if you can see right here, there's 32 versus 17. It's using half as much RAM, but they're both using basically no CPU. And that takes care of the resources for those and what they do. Now, that should cover what it looks like to port one game from one language and framework to another game language and another framework. Except it was the other way. It's the C++ to the C# is how I did it. But I'm sure you could do it the other way. It only takes you knowing the framework, and I am not that good at either one of these quite yet. I'm still looking up a ton of stuff on Google, and then there's a lot of weird gotchas with both of them. Just a ton of little gotchas. I noticed there's a little bit more gotchas with XNA, but they're small gotchas. Some kind of one of the gotchas is that if you scale the ship or any of your textures, it will apply a blending filter on that texture, so it will look kind of shaded out, or not shaded out, but blurry, maybe a little both really. So what you have to do is in the sprite batch.begin, which normally you can just leave blank, you have to go and do a whole bunch of nasty stuff. You sort mode, immediate, turn on alpha blending, and then this is the key thing right here, is this sampler state point clamp. I have no idea what this does, but the person online said that that's what you do, and I did that and kind of filled out the rest of this with default stuff, and it works fine. Now, I will admit that lately I had been using Visual C 2008, and the IntelliSense in that was absolutely garbage. Absolutely garbage. I had to pretty much write out everything by memory. But with the new 2010, which I had used previously, and it was still kind of funky, and I guess they might have fixed it or whatever. The IntelliSense is much better. It's still not as good as the C Sharp, but it's still pretty good. So if I go game dot, and I'll get all these little methods and stuff. And it does kind of give you an idea of what they are looking for over here, except it's really kind of confusing looking. They need to clean this up. As for the C Sharp side of the IntelliSense, it's not too hard to just go and type in sprite batch dot net. See, if you notice that, I just go SPR, and then it gives me all these little things. I can use the arrow keys to go up and down. I just hit enter, or you can hit tab. I think you can use space too. Let me see here. Right. No, not space. SP. Yeah, you can use space too, but obviously it's gonna put that little space in there to get right there. Anyway, you can do dot, and I think it gives. Well, it's pushing it out a little too far. Let's see if I can do that again. Okay, so it gives you a lot cleaner description of what it's looking for. So if I do draw and I do that now, then there are 7 overloads of this, so you can press down, or you can use the arrow key or press on the arrows here with your mouse, and it looks like you can pretty much just do whatever, and you can cycle through the different overloads and get what they're asking for in each one. So this one's looking for a texture, 2D texture, a vector, a rectangle, and a color. The next one's looking for a lot more other stuff, and the next one looks for more stuff, and the last one's looking for well, I think the same thing as the last one, but it has a scale, and then you return back to the basic version right there. So the IntelliSense in the C++ version is much better, and it speeds up the programming a lot. I'm gonna try and stick this stuff up on my website so you guys can download the source code. I'm not going to tell you how to install XNA or SFML. There's a ton of tutorials online to get that done. I will have to note that the C++ 2010 Express does not agree with SFML very much. You do have to recompile it. There's a nice video on Vimeo of the guy just opening up the solution file, deleting everything but the important SFML stuff, the Windows system, main, graphics, etc. And then you just go through the build process and build debug DLL, release, and release DLL, and you pretty much get all the stuff that you need. You delete all the old crap, and you can use that in the 2010 version. And that works out pretty well. Links for the source code will be in the bottom thingy, and I'll put those up on my website so you can download them. They'll be in zip or a 7-zip file. Not sure which, don't care which. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.